Good evening, everyone. Nice to see new faces, and also old faces. We have pretty old faces too. That means I am getting old. I am old actually. That's why I'm beginning to get the white hairs. My beard is also coming to be white. Nevertheless, I think I'm still handsome. Yeah. So again, good to see children as well, particularly these two boys who are, I believe, training to be a monk in the future, coming quite a lot. And then we have a new member here. Yeah. So if you are interested, you can come our one-day retreat on the last Saturday of this month. We'll start from 9 o'clock. I think 9 or 9:30. 9:30. So you can come and practice. This is for children until about 3 o'clock. So, having said that, parents are also encouraged. And also parents also they need it too. So they're also encouraged to come and join us too. Meanwhile, one announcement that on the 5th of November, we're going to have a Kachina celebration. We're going to have around 9 monks here. So the temple is going to be full house. 9 monks, and meanwhile, there will be probably 5, 6 our lay disciples coming to stay here. Imagine how this cottage will be. So I believe there will be no need to turn on the heating. Yeah. So the Kachina ceremony on the 5th of November is our annual celebration. That celebration again linked to the time of the Buddha, which is now 2,600 years old tradition, and that's been practiced and practicing. It's quite a big celebration, but I try to keep it very simple. And yet it can be very elegant, and lots of organizations and organizing relates to lots of things. Obviously, will be plenty of food to eat. Not only to eat, you can take home as well, some takeaways too. So if you're fancy testing different types of dishes from around the world, so that is the day. Free meal, and then you will have opportunity to test all the different types of tests from Thailand, Sri Lanka, maybe Poland, Scotland, but no whiskey, and Ukraine, yeah, and India, Nepal. So will be plenty of so many dishes will be there. Now this is a temptation, isn't it? I'm giving you some sort of a temptation to dragging you back to the temple. Yes?
Not everything in here.
Yeah. Okay. So, this is simply relating to, just to let you know that although we have been practicing on every Wednesday night and without that is called advertising that what will be the topic of the night, and there is no formats at all, but I try to speak on a certain topics and then trying to follow on a certain topics. If you're coming regularly, then you will notice that. So with that, today, this is the time I have to give you an overview of this called 4 foundations of the mindfulness. Eventually, I arrived here. Okay, can you imagine? I started in January on the topic of 4 foundations, and finally I arrived on the topic. So the 4 foundations of the mindfulness is one of the fundamental teachings of the Buddha, and that is directly related to the practice of a meditation. It's directly related to the practice of a meditation, and that's famously known mindfulness meditation. Okay? And this mindfulness meditation actually based on these 4 foundations of the mindfulness. Yeah? But they don't say it. It's coming from the 4 foundations of the mindfulness. And it is developed from there and used it to practice. Simply because it has that lots of benefits from it. If you practice, obviously. Yeah? The first benefit is the physical benefit that you will gain. And the physical benefit that I normally use to reflect is that if you feel really tired, just close your eyes and take a long deep breath and simply mindful of your body presence here and now. Leave everything behind. Nothing to worry, nothing to read. Just be yourself. Simply close your eyes and watch your body sitting here and just telling to yourself, nothing to do, nowhere to go. This is a wonderful moment that I am here and now. See, just having done that for a couple of breaths, you energize yourself. So physically, you are resting, which is not our habit patterns, that we do not like to rest ourselves. When the moment when we start closing our eyes, and straight away we'll be thinking of this, thinking of that, questioning of this, questioning of that, goes on. Lots of thought process comes. We cannot stay still. So the best way is to just sit down, take your few breaths, and observe the body. That's all, here and now. Simple is that. And that's the physical benefit you will get straight away, which I normally do a lot and a lot. And not only that, the moment when you feel very tired, when you feel like very exhausted, well, what you mean that, oh, I am exhausted. Aware the tensions and the stress that you are going through. At that moment, what you have to do, leave everything behind. Just take your time. Be yourself. Give a space for yourself. And by giving that space to yourself, again, you are gaining a lot of physical relaxation. And with that, you're gaining a lot of physical benefits. And with that, research also suggests if you are practicing meditation, mindfulness meditation, for 15 years, regularly, if I remember correctly, 15 minutes per day, can you imagine what is the result? You will get younger 15 years. You don't have to pay for all these plastic surgeries or all the complementary diets to make you feel more younger. As we know nowadays, that is billions of business. Yeah, that's selling you. If you eat this one, you will be more handsome. You will not get this gray hairs quickly. Yeah, so it's billions of pounds of business out there. Now, you don't have to pay at all, even a penny, if you spend even just for 15 minutes of a practice per day. Now, 15 years, obviously, it's a longer dedication that you have to spend. Yeah? So that is the physical benefit you're going to get. You're going to save billions of pounds from simple act of a practice of a 15 minutes of a meditation. And the rest, I will leave you to go and search on the benefit of a physical benefit of the practice of a mindfulness meditation. Now, all the physical benefits that we are talking about, it is outside there, out of our control. We cannot change it. It's going to happen. One way or another, it's going to happen. You can't change it. But rather than disturbed by those changes and bringing those troubles to yourself, we need to be mindful that this is going to happen, so why worry? It is going to happen, so why worry? If we can make that mindset, then rest will be fine. Yeah? So that's why practice of a mindfulness meditation, first it begins with paying attention to the body, gaining the physical benefit, the body. And after that, our body always in connection with the environment, in connection with the community, the things that we come across with it, and we are always engaged with it. Eyes sees, ears hears, tongue and smells, and mouth that we test the tongue, and the body always come to contact with this. So with that, it always gives us some sort of a feelings, sensations. The problem is when this come to us, when there is a contact, what happens is that we straight away react to it and make it liking and disliking, pleasant and unpleasant. And with that becomes unhappiness or happiness. So happiness and unhappiness is basically you have created, not it's there to, just simply there for you. It's your perspective makes you happy or unhappy. It reminds me, I think I have told this story, maybe Linda or David will remember. Long time ago, when I was a young boy, see, that defines I am old. In my village, there was Sue Repair, who was living in the tent made out of plastic bags. And then opposite of that, there is a highway. So he's in this side, and the opposite of him, there is 4-story building. 4-story building with, if I remember correctly, 8 big doors for the shops. So you can see there is a gentleman who has got a mansion with many shops rented, and there is a gentleman who's sleeping under the tent opposite of this big highway. He's repairing a shoe, repairing shoes. But all he does, wakes up in his own time, start his business. So that business is basically just to turn on this plastic sheets that's covering his door. Turn on, put the little boxes there, and wait for the customers, and singing songs, welcoming and entertaining all the people, those who are there for waiting for the bus to go to the town. So all day he will be there waiting for the customers, and end of the day, As the darkness comes in, he will get something to eat and a few glasses of homemade alcohol, and will be drunk, and again will be singing and dancing, and will go to sleep. No trouble at all. How happy he is, right? And here comes the mansion boy who has got the 3 lorries with these shops to rent and a 4-story building. Do you know his story? Every night he will sit by the window. Every single night he sits by the window watching all his lorries full of goods that just came from the normally coming from India, and then go to the town next day early morning. He could not sleep, worrying about his wealth. So where is the satisfaction there? So that's why it all depends on how we look at things and how we change ourselves. Being rich doesn't mean that you are happy. Having so many numbers of cars or houses doesn't mean that you are happy. And also, when you die, they will not tell you, they will not be talking about, oh, this person had this iPhone, this person had this car, this person had this house. They're not talking about these things at all. They will simply be talking how he died, and how old he died, what happened. And then all the relatives will be talking how much he has got, right? So like that. So that's why the happiness or unhappiness is in our hand. It's up to you. It's not a matter of how much you have, it's a matter of how do you look at it. Okay? So anything that comes to contact with us, that creates the feeling. And then on that basis of that feeling, whatever we react to it, then that brings happiness and unhappiness. Now, practice of a mindfulness meditation is basically knowing that this happened and knowing that this is. Okay? Knowing that this is, this happened, this is, that's all. And that's why it's called being aware of all the feelings and not reacting to it, but being simply responding it. Responsive, this is there. And with that, we will be able to recognize that when this creates to the happiness, when this creates to the unhappiness, that moment, this is happiness. This is pleasant feeling. This is unpleasant feelings. Then you will be able to comprehend that. Once you have comprehended, what will you do? Once you know that this is happiness and this is unhappiness, if that's unhappiness, will you continue to be unhappy? Pondering and thinking, oh, why? What will you do? You will need to find a way to get out from it, right? It's like when you become sick, you will go to see the doctor. And that's how you will cure. Right? So that's why the second part of the mindfulness meditation is to be mindful of our feelings and how to deal with it. Now, the third part is your mind, you see, which is very hard. It's always flickering. It's in the flux. Mind is always in the flux, and it's flickering all the time, never stays in one place, jumping all around, jumping one after another, branches after branches. That's why it's called a monkey mind, right? It's always jumping and grabbing one branches and then again go back to another branch like that, jumping one after another. So it's always changing. And because of this change, this changing mind or nature of this change, what happens is that it's always bringing happiness and unhappiness. Okay? So the state of the mind is, we will be able to recognize that my mind or I am thinking in a negative way, or I am thinking positive way. Now here, if you look at yourself, your mindset, the moment when you wake up, between positive and negative thoughts, which one comes first? Complaint comes first? Plan comes first? Or what a wonderful moment it is. I am alive. I wake up, breathe in, breathe out. Ah, beautiful. Which one comes first? Maybe 90% of people will have a negative thought. Oh, goodness me, why I so terrible. I don't want to go to work. I don't want to go to school. I don't want to go to do anything. I just wish be here. See? Now you have conditioned entire day to be miserable from the moment when you wake up. Right? The first step, you have made it miserable, and in between you are thinking of good things out of it. Right? Is it possible? No. Cause is already miserable, result will be miserable too. So practice of a mindfulness that we are practicing, basically learning to notice this mind so that we can condition it into the pleasurable mind, good mind, positive mind, so that the moment when you wake up, rather than thinking about anything that is miserable, sadness, complaint, grumpy, what a wonderful day. It's a new day. Now day begins so beautiful. And after that, all day, whatever you do, you will be using it skillfully and you will be living fully. Everything happens, doesn't bother. Enjoying, right? So that is the mindset you will have. It doesn't matter what is happening. It's a matter of your thinking, because of the thought that you are having changes everything. Okay? So the third practice is to be mindful of your mental state. And now the fourth one is, which is a bit hard one, but you don't need to worry. In the moment when I say hard, you already, gosh, right? So the fourth one is about knowing that things are always conditioned. And everything is conditioned arise. And everything is conditioned arise, and so then why worry? Right? The problem is finding that condition. Finding that condition is the trouble. And that will simply is a factor of a practice, and gradually it unveils you. And it just comes, it's not like a deja vu, but it just, You don't have any words to explain. You simply know that, oh, wow, amazing. By seeing how these are conditions. And with that, you will be able to recognize and understand that how am I feeling, what is my conditions are, and what's happening in my thought process. And then once you notice the process of the conditioning and conditional conditions and conditioning and being conditioned, then eventually you will realize everything is like that, then why worry? Let it be. So you will be able to drop it there. And that's how 4 foundations of mindfulness becomes compact in a one practice, simple one breath. And then everything comes and unfolds from there. Okay? So with this, I think we better practice. Today I have spoken more than usual, 10 minutes more than usual. Okay, let's sit down and meditate. sitting comfortably, relaxing your body and mind, acknowledging your presence here, and embracing yourself, and being mindful of your body, sitting here and now, nothing to do, nowhere to go. Aware of your entire body, not about thinking of your body, but feeling. Feeling that how you are sitting, how you are feeling. And if you are finding difficult to feel or observe the body, you may imagine that you are sitting in front of the mirror and looking at your sitting body. See that how are you sitting? A mirror is like your mind watching your sitting body. Or feeling yourself from the heart. No need to press, no need to control, just to relax yourself, just sitting and feeling your body. And as you are sitting and observing your body, you may notice the breath coming in and breath going out. It's making your body to inflate or deflate, rises and falls. Movements takes place. As you're feeling the body, try to notice the effect of this breath regulating this body. And again, if you feel that your mind is so restless, you may choose to settle your mind down in your body parts, wherever you feel the breath, where you feel the breath and very noticeable and regularly taking place. Settling down, grounding yourself there. Let the mind rest on that particular place, simply to gain focus attention. You may use that focus attention place, a platform. Could be your nose or your chest or your belly as an anchor as a foundation to establish your mind. Consciously aware that this is happening. As you're watching that and being aware of that in your body as breathe in and breathe out takes place. Remember, that's not the body. We feel that. So we recognize this body. There is a feel. The feeling allowing us to observe this body as a bridge. This feeling actually narrowing ourselves down and to connect within our body, within ourselves. So uniting mind and a body. The mind is unscattered, settled. But as the mind settles, we become a bit familiar with that, beginning to think about something else. Thought comes, job creeps in, desire to do things comes, and even other sensations beginnings to pop out in your body. Feeling of discomfort, the itchiness, a tension, a tightness, and so on. In that case, again, consciously making a decision that I am not going to do anything but to be mindful. And as you become mindful in this way without acting, without reacting to any of these activities, you become aware of the tension in our mind. Feeling of heaviness, feeling of desire to change, feeling of desire to move, and so on. That's how we understand the mental states. But obviously, if we can't settle the mind down, it's like a monkey jumping. We cannot keep our body still. We cannot be still. We wish to open eyes, we wish to change, we wish to scratch here and there, we want to know what others are doing, and so on. We'll begin. Simply, we are under the influence of stimulations. Now here, we force ourselves, force the mind to pay attention to the object that we have defined. A particular place in our body, the breath in your nose or in your belly, as a platform, so we'll come back and settle. In this moment, whatever happens, observing, acknowledging, and noting, and let go and back there. So we train in this way, this mind, until it is tamed. So in this way, we have a platform to pay attention to. Either the nose, the breathing in and breathing out happens there, or the rising, falling, the end of the breath takes place. As a platform, we pay attention to there. In the meanwhile, whatever other phenomena and activity happens, simply aware, acknowledge, and let go. So observing, acknowledging, noting, and let go, and back there. Continue practicing in this way until you hear the gong.